Hello my dear friends. In today's session we are going to discuss about CRT television. Now you might be familiar with the term television and you might be seeing television as well. But my dear friends, have you ever gave a thought that how it works? Now my dear friends, I have presented a diagram over here. This is, you can see here, this is C, that is a cathode, and this is an anode. And this here you can see that this much portion is the electron gun, right? So here standard glass tube televisions and our CRT monitor work quite very similarly. Now here a glass cathode ray tube, here you can see this is called as the cathode ray tube. So this is the glass cathode ray tube which contains a vacuum which has 3 electron guns at its narrow end, and each containing an anode and a cathode assembly. So this is an assembly. This is the cathode and anode assembly. This is what each electron gun possesses or contains, and at its narrow end it contains the anode and cathode assembly. Now the cathodes here emit electrons, and the anodes draw the electrons away from the cathodes, focusing and accelerating them into electron beams. So many of the electron beams will be released from here, will be emitted from here, and then it will strike on the deflection yoke. Now here there are vertical deflection plates, horizontal deflection plates. So this is basically the deflection yoke around the tube base. Precisely it manipulates the 3 beams via the electromagnetic force which works with the CRT circuitry to sweep them across the screen. That means in the horizontal way, right? So here the electron beam passes onto the screen. Now here the electron beam hits the screen and it causes a red, green or blue phosphor dot to glow. That is RGB to glow. That is red, green and blue phosphor dots. Now when it hits the screen, the electron beam hits the screen's inner surface is coated with these colored phosphors already, right? So the beams, though they are colorized, they are actually invisible. Now here we have shown it in a very colored form, like in a red form, but it is actually invisible, right? So here they appear with the shadow mask. Now in the next diagram I will show you the shadow mask. This is the simple one which is shown that it hits the phosphor dots, the electron beam hits the phosphor dots over here on the fluorescent screen, and finally the image appears. Now my dear friends, here I have shown a more precise and a clear picture of the shadow mask. Now here you can see the shadow mask. The shadow mask in here is the metal screen which is just behind the phosphor coated display glass, right? And their channeled beams, now here you can see the electron beams, their channeled beams illuminate a trio of phosphor dots. Trio means RGB. Now this is known as a triad because 3 colors are combined over here. The 3 phosphor dots appear, right? And finally a pixel. Now here you can see that pixels appear, and this is the smallest image element which we can see, which comprises of 1 or more triads. It depends upon the resolution which we specify. So the lower the resolution, the more triads that are assigned to each of the pixel. So these pixels combine to form a big image on the screen. Now here the electron guns, they blaze across the screen row by row and they illuminate the phosphors. And varying the beam's intensity, it strengthens or weakens the glow from a given phosphor dot. That means the red, green or blue phosphor dot, right? So by careful manipulation of every one of them, the triads and the pixels seen by the eye as single units create the illusion of the different color dots. And that is why phosphors or the phosphor dots, they appear as the whole image on the screen. Now here phosphors don't glow for long, and once the guns have scanned the whole screen, they repeat the process typically 60 to 80 times. It is 60 to 80 times a second. How amazing it is, right? So this is the number which is also called as the refresh rate. What it is called? Refresh rate. My dear friends, that was all about the working of a CRT television. So I'll meet you in the next session with something new information. Till then, keep learning and be happy.